Garmagat, Cahirlach, and thank you all for your contributions. I think we should use, there's real value in these contributions. I think we should use them for all of the witnesses that we have in the future to test the answers and generate our questions from what you have contributed here today. I really thank you for it, because I think without having that in the report that we're going to do, I think it would be very lopsided. And I really hear what you're saying, in that young people absolutely have to be not just involved, but fully involved in decisions that are made, and in policy decisions in particular. I just want to go through a few of them. Tammy, just in looking at yours, I really, if there's one thing that I'm really struck by today, it's your sentence. We were all like machines, directed to memorise and produce as much material as we could. God, we have to learn from that. Because if that is how some people, some young people in the system, if that's how the experience is for them, it absolutely has to be changed, because human beings aren't machines. And I can see how that can happen, and in the other contributions that have been made in terms of the contribution on points, the absolute focus on points, and the fact that apprenticeships and all other options, and there are so many options, but it would make you think, are we, we're really limiting the options that are now available that wouldn't have been available many years ago, if then they're not brought down to be accessible to students. And maybe I'd just like to give you an opportunity just to speak to that, in terms of just having one focus on the education first, before I go on to the other thing.
I noticed a huge difference when I moved to the Life Centre. In my old school, it was...
If you just could move forward to the microphone, please. Thank you very much. Yeah.
In my old school, I found it very stressful, and I just couldn't really cope. And then when I went to the Life Centre, they were very helpful, and there's nowhere near as much pressure put on you, and the focus is more on your well-being, and that's where it should be in mainstream school as well. Like, your mental health is more important than what points you get, and I think they cater for that really well in the Life Centre.
And did that add to your enjoyment of learning? Like, did you start to enjoy learning when you went to the Life Centre? Was that the difference?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
Like, it's not that I didn't enjoy learning in my old school, it's just I found it really stressful. And then, yeah.
Okay. So if schools were to adopt the approaches and the empathy that's shown in the Life Centre, then that would make a difference to students and to young people across the board. Is that what you're saying? Yeah. Thanks for that. And Ryan, I just want to ask you, and congratulations studying music. Did you always have an interest in music?
I've always loved music, but I never thought of it as an option. In my mainstream secondary, I was going to push towards something more stable, mechanical engineering now, but I couldn't tell you the first thing about it. Like, it was just, it had good points and I'd make money, and that was it. When I went into the Life Centre, then I started to enjoy the subjects, like you were saying. Now I enjoyed learning, especially music, and I took a focus to that. And I'm in third level now. I'm loving it.
Where are you now? What
I'm in CSN, formerly CSN. It's FET now.
Very good. And just in terms of the supports that are available from your experience at secondary level and then at third level, is there a difference in that, or what?
I haven't availed of the supports in third level, but I've heard it's completely different than secondary. Secondary was more kind of guidance counsellors than counsellors, whereas in third level now there's specific counsellors. There's not long waiting lists for CAMS especially, and as the lads were saying, Jigsaw, the waiting list, like you'd be a year waiting at least. Yeah, definitely. I think it's more kind of talked about as well in third level. We can talk to the professors, or if we're just not feeling it.
Okay, so the same stigma that you might have felt at second level isn't there at
Yeah,
at
it's
third level
completely
in your
gone.
experience?
Completely gone.
Yeah, okay, good. I wanted to ask the other question around, and I'm not sure who said it because I was so engrossed in what was being said, I wasn't looking, but around the physical education in secondary school and primary schools, because I've always thought it was unhealthy to expect students to sit all day in a classroom, go home, have a bite to eat, and then study again for a number of hours. So I suppose my question around that is, do we need to look at broadening the education outside the classroom, you know, recognising that not everybody enjoys sport or whatever, but just in broadening that. Was it you, Annie?
Yeah, 100%. And me personally, I way rather like physical activity than sitting down and learning. And I play camogie and football myself, and after school it's near to impossible to get your homework and study done and try to go to training, try to eat something before you go to training, and like showered and everything ready for your next school day. Like the amount, and like was said earlier, you feel like a machine. You're told constantly to go home, learn that. But it's like, for some people, yeah, they're able to just look at a sheet and be able to know it off by the next day. But for me, I'm nowhere near able to, like, I'd have to sit down for easily 2 hours to learn off a sheet of paper or whatever. For the leaving cert, that has been mentioned multiple times, and we only started 5th year. It came to a big shock to us. But going back to your question about physical activity, definitely, like, some people obviously are the opposite and would rather probably do schoolwork or another hobby, but physical activity, I think it's so important, and even for my own well-being. Like, if I go out and train and then try come back and study, I find it way easier to learn that piece or to do my homework. I get it done way quicker. Even going out for a walk with my mum or something in the evening after school, I just find it so important for young people's mental health, and it should be emphasised more. For us, we get 1 hour. We are very fortunate. We get 1 hour of PE in 5th year still, and it's the best 1 hour of the whole week, to be honest. It's just so nice to just take a break from schoolwork and just, no, I really think physical education should be emphasised.
Thank you for that.